Hey, welcome to our weekly Lucha Underground review. I am the huge one, Dave Coco from KocoSports.com. For now, there's always a plan B that surrounds me. And this is our weekly, I don't know, take seven. Take seven. I'm just so tired of WrestleMania. I'm so pumped up for Lucha Underground. I mean, dude, I don't even want to fucking go through the dramatics. I'm Dave. He's Rob. We always ask win, loss, or tie. And to me, I thought this was a huge win. Not a perfect. Lucha Underground has had perfects before, but I really enjoyed it. And this is how I enjoyed it. We talked, 2.5 hours breaking down WrestleMania, and it was fucking depressing as fuck. Like, it was just fucking depressing. It's like, what can make WrestleMania exciting? And Rob's like, well, what if we had werewolves?
I never got that bad.
It was depressing as fuck. And then, like, after that, I was like, oh, man, I'm going to sit down and watch Lucha Underground. I turned it on, and it's just, you trust them. You trust them to put on a good show.
It's like being a kid again. Like, you just turn it on, and you know you're just going to have fun. And, like, I got a drink, and I sat down, and I was just excited.
Yeah, and not only, but, like, it's fucking beyond enjoyable, and I hope you give it a chance, those that have never given Lucha Underground a chance. Because it's just, a lot of shit is going on in my life. You know, just a lot. Like, my whole life is crumbling around me. Like, oh, I got a problem. And I have to solve all these problems like a fucking superhero, a retarded superhero, but I still
If only you were Superman and not Batman.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, my life has been a complete shitstorm this past week. And, you know, pro wrestling is supposed to be an escape. You're supposed to sit down, you're supposed to enjoy it, you're supposed to love it. You know, it's, you know, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's, you know, it's sports entertainment. It's got, you know, you got the sports, you just want to you want to leave your reality and go into their reality. And what so many companies don't do is like, oh, I'm having a depressing fucking day. I gotta watch Raw. I gotta watch WrestleMania. I gotta watch Impact when it's acting up. Right now, Impact's doing good. I don't want to throw Impact under the bus, but there's times where Impact really acts up. And it feels like a fucking job. Like, this is our hobby. This is what we're supposed to have fun with. And I kid you not, I'm actually getting sick to go, oh man, I have to fucking cover WrestleMania. I have to watch WrestleMania. And that blows my fucking mind. So I just want to thank Lucha Underground, because this wasn't a perfect show, but I give it a win. I mean, of course, I'm a nitpicking motherfucker. but the thing that I enjoy most about Lucha Underground is I trusted them to entertain me. I sat down, I shut the door, I turned off all my phones, I turned on Lucha Underground, and for that hour, you know, I was like, you know what? Fuck my problems. I want to escape into a fucking entertainment reality. And Lucha Underground's the only show that really does that for me at this level, especially for American products. It's such a great feeling. Like, I know I gotta wake up early because I live in Japan. I gotta wake up early for Raw, and I kid you not, I don't know when it came this way. Our hobby is obviously reviewing, talking pro wrestling. It's a lot of fun. That's what we do. It's our passion. But does it not feel, because, you know, you're going to be part of the WrestleMania show, does it not feel that WrestleMania is going to be work? It doesn't feel like it's escaping your realities. It doesn't feel like you're escaping your realities. It feels like it's another fucking job. You're like, all right, I have to finish this project, and I guess I got to watch WrestleMania. And not only that, but then you got to fucking pay for it? You got to pay for a job?
Yeah. To me, it feels like Raw felt the last few weeks, which is like going into Raw. In my head, I'm just like, oh god, here comes 5 hours of talking about this shit and watching this shit. I gotta watch this crappy fucking product.
And you know,
as
a pro wrestling fan, I believe you have to do the thick and thin. But still, as an entertainment fan, it's so nice. My life sucks right now just because I'm starting new businesses, closing businesses, handing business off. I'm the Wall Street tycoon. But it's just beyond stressful, you know. And for this first time in a long time, I just relaxed and forgot about my problems. And that's something that Lucha Underground did for me. So that's a huge win. I really did enjoy it. It wasn't perfect, but I'm a negative picking motherfucker. But beyond it not being perfect, I could fucking escape my problems. And isn't that what pro wrestling's supposed to be about? I mean, the one thing that we love about pro wrestling is we could argue, we could fight, but at the end of the day, it's not stupid made up shit like politics and religion and world events. It's something that, like, hey, you know what? Fuck you, I disagree with you. Fuck you, I disagree with you. Let's fucking be friends. You know what I mean? And it's supposed to be like an escape, enjoyment. And for the first time, first time this week, I fucking felt that. You know what I mean? I was just like, right, this isn't a job. It's fun. I like reviewing this. I like talking about it. So I give it a win. Like I said, not perfect, but really enjoyed it. And if you want, check out last week's Lucha Underground review too, because we had a special guest on, and it was really cool. So it's something different. And some people said, like, oh, you were too harsh on him. I'm like, dude, that's just how I talk. I don't know. He seemed cool with it. So I don't know. That's why I just don't like interviewing people. It's just like, you asked them too hard questions. You asked them too softball questions. You asked, like, you know what? Let's just enjoy our conversation. But, you know, I thought it was a really good show. But granted, you know, I'm a punch-drunk asshole talking to a television producer. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent podcast. So you should definitely check it out because I broke a rule. Originally, this podcast, because I'm punch-drunk and I can't do news anymore and all that, I didn't want to ever have a guest on this show. And he is the first time we had a guest. And I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I just don't want to be a show that has guests for the simple fact is I don't want to be ass-kissing mode. You know, like, I just want to have a conversation. And I thought he did a great job with just having a conversation. All right, let's break down this week's. Do you agree with it, that it's a win?
Oh, I've been waiting so long. Yeah, for me, it's a pretty huge win. I thought the whole show, start to finish, was just very attention-grabbing. Like, aside from me basically going over to ask you a question to be like, hey, who is this guy? This guy seems kind of cool. Who is this guy? I was pretty into it, like, the whole time through. Just like, yeah, this is great. I mean, I did waver a little bit during the middle of the show, but I think that was just more style, my personal preference thing.
Yeah. All right, well, let's break it down. Good, bad, ugly. We'll start breaking it down. In the comments below, please put win, loss, or tie. I know it's so funny when people see our other reviews, they're like, you're so negative. No, start watching the Lucha Underground reviews if you want to hear positive PD stuff. Check out our New Japan stuff. All right, so here we go. I just hope, you know, and granted, it's a bit delusional, but I hope that some small way we get WWE only fans to expand and check out other stuff. You know, obviously we don't
need to do it.
Power and pull. You know, we don't have the power and pull that we'd like to have, but it would be nice. It would be nice to have one person come up to be like, "You're so negative about WWE," and be like, "Well, I checked out Lucha Underground, and I understand why. I checked out New Japan, and I understand why." It would be.
I did that.
Yeah, I held a gun to your head. I was like, "You fucking watch Lucha Underground, you son of a bitch." All right, let's break down the match. Angelico, Angelico, versus Son of Havoc versus Evilise. The fans were really into this.
Not Evilise wasn't in it. She was just his manager.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you for being there. Hot tag. I'm having a rough day.
No problem.
A little punch drunk.
No problem.
But I enjoyed this match. It told a great story. But know what made this match seem a little more special than it really was the audience. It was great to see the audience. And this one I want to say, just let the audience have fun. You see this all the time in WWE. They just take away the fucking things. This was a magic moment that the audience helped build. Like, you couldn't do this in other feds. They'd be like, oh, no, Son of Havoc, he's a fucking jobber. He's a bad guy. You can't cheer for him. And you miss moments like this. I don't understand. WWE is for the casual fans, but let the fans have fucking fun. You know? Just let them have fun. This is one thing I like about Lucha Underground, and I thought it added. The believers in the temple really, I thought, pushed this storyline along.
Oh, yeah.
I really thought so, because to me, like, if someone, Lucha Underground Episode 1, you just tell me to describe Son of Havoc, I'd be like, oh, he's a jobber with a hot chick. You know, that's how I describe him. Let's be honest. That's how you would describe him.
I wouldn't.
But the storytelling and fucking the fan interaction and the fans getting behind it just seemed to make it more special. Son of Havoc wins via Shooting Star Press. It was a pretty decent, fast-paced cruiserweight-style match. But besides the Shooting Star Press and the win, the big thing was when he was on the top rope, he grabbed the mic and broke up with Iverly's. And like I said, I think this was all.
And was that a face turn?
Audience. What's that?
Do you think that was a face turn? Because I mean, the crowd was going pretty well for him after he reversed the crucifix and got that big pop. They were really on his side most of that match. And he was getting chants, and that felt like a face moment to me at the end.
I think so, but here's the thing where, like, it just, you know, we did interview someone from Creative last week, and he said that, you know, we give the fans what they want. And there's special moments when you give the fans what they want, you know? It's just, I think if it wasn't for the audience, him grabbing the mic, breaking up with her and all that, goes over like a wet fart. Like, if the audience isn't into it, I see us just completely buried. And ECW back in its prime.
If you had Fandango do this to Rosa Mendez, no one would give a shit.
Yeah, and I think it's just the giving the fans what they want, and also feeling the audience, and also the audience being into it. Because a lot of people like, oh, you might be hypocritical. You love Lucha, but you don't fucking love when WWE does this. But I would love to know if this was the plan all along, or if it's been an adjustment. I imagine this is just me. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm guessing it had to be an adjustment. I'm sure they were planning to do stuff, but they kind of adjusted it along the way. That's my theory on it. Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, they really worked you. But here's the thing. Let's say Lucha Underground, they worked you, brother. How awesome is it when they work us and it's enjoyable?
Work me all the time.
There's this fucking thing where oh, you didn't like it? They worked you, brother. No. At the end of the day, I want to enjoy the product. What if Lucha Underground really did work us? And get this, at the end of working us, we enjoyed it. I mean, just saying, it fucking works out that way. But I don't want to be called a hypocrite, because I can imagine if it wasn't for the audience, if this is done in a big arena with no one giving a shit, I'm the first one to shit on this. But the audience and feeling the audience makes it special. And I thought, wow, they care. And that's what made ECW great. A lot of younger fans, they go back to watch ECW and they're like, it ain't that fucking good. First off, don't say that around me, because it hurts. It cuts me deep. You can call me fat, dumb, and punch drunk. I'm okay. You say ECW isn't as good as I remember it, you cut me too deep. But a lot of it
was just, okay.
Yeah. A lot of it was just fan reaction and doing something different and being a part of it. It was really a special time, and I think the match was great, but the mic thing, the fans, and if they worked us, congratulations. Finally, there's a company working us into excitement. But I really enjoyed it. But like I said, if it wasn't for the fans, that where he grabs the mic in the middle of the match, I think goes over like a wet fart. So I think timing and feeling your audience is so important. And even if they are working you, brother, because that's what fucking everyone in the business under fucking says. Even if they are working for it, what if they work us and at the end of the day we enjoy the product? Wouldn't that be great? Unlike, oh, we worked you, our faces fucking got you angry. Get it? Yeah, but we don't actually enjoy that. That's that you worked us, but we don't enjoy that. They worked you, brother. All right.
I got you.
It's like eating a slushie, and then after you eat the slushie, I worked you, I pissed in the slushie, and you're like, I don't enjoy that. I mean, yes, you worked me, but I do not enjoy my piss and slush together. I like my piss separate from the slushie. All right. Then next they go backstage.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
Hold
you
on.
got more?
You totally skipped. Remember that part where I was like, I got all these notes. I was really into a lot of the
Oh yeah,
spots.
I wrote notes too. Sorry, I
And
got ahead of
then
everyone else.
you're just like, this would have been a wet fart, wet fart, wet fart. And I'm like, you're killing me, Dave. I want to talk about the
All right.
match.
Well, there is one thing I fucking absolutely do because I sometimes I talk bad about Vampiro, but Vampiro had the fucking match, the line of the night, and it legit made me fucking laugh. Striker goes, "Is there anything you won't say to offend someone?" He says, "Is there anyone that you wouldn't say something to offend them?" And he goes, "Yeah, when I talk to my mom." And I'm paraphrasing that, but that line was the fucking line of the night. I was just like, because Vampiro is like this hardcore lucha, not hardcore is a bit, I'm not using the word the correct way, but just go with me. Hardcore lucha icon, you know what I mean? And
I
he's
think it's
like,
Rudo. I think he would be considered Rudo. Is Rudo the heel word?
I guess I don't know Spanish. Come on, I can barely pronounce anyone's name. Don't throw me on the bus like that. But but he's this fucking legendary character that people look up to, and I don't know, just fucking when they were talking, and he's like, "Is there anything you won't say to offend someone?" And he goes, "Yeah, when I speak to my mom." It just caught me off guard, and I fucking giggled like a schoolgirl because with all the internet rumors and shit about people not happy with Vampiro talking. I was just like, you hit a home run, sir. High five. Like, it was like, because there's not many times where you legit laugh out loud. I think LOL online, people abuse way too much, I legit, by myself, was like, good one, Vampiro. Good one. High five, pal. All right, go ahead. Let's hit your notes, John Madden.
All right. So I just want to say I'll start off with the bad. The only bad thing for me in this match was I didn't like Vampiro shitting on Ivelisse over her voice. Like, I feel like he could have been pointing out how much of a distraction she was as the primary thing, as opposed to constantly going back to the tone of how her voice sounded and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. I just didn't like that being the target. I feel like the distraction aspect would have been more interesting. But the actual match itself was awesome, even though Angelico got, like, very little offense in. There were so many really, really good spots. First, Son of Havoc opened the match with a better spear than Reigns. I said it. Better spear than Reigns. And then
coming from you, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I liked how he went to do the dive, and then he caught the rope and changed the dive into just dropping down ringside to attack him.
I like that.
Really cool.
I also like how Striker sold it. I like how Striker sold it. I think because when I was watching, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And then Striker sold it. I was like, good job, Striker. That was like a tag team of commentary and wrestling.
I thought it was a botch and told.
Yeah, maybe it was. And Striker just covered it up so good.
But if that was a botch, Striker, you're the man because you convinced me that was intentional and it was awesome.
I love you, Striker.
So that was cool. I loved that whole bit. I was really, really digging that one sequence. It was when they were on the side of on the apron, and Son of Havoc and Ivelisse were arguing, and Angelico was in the ring, and you saw Angelico start to run, bounce off the rope, and Son of Havoc just pushes Ivelisse away, and then he counters with the kick. After he counters with the kick, he climbs to the top rope, does the jumping stomp, and then into like a backwards moonsault. That whole sequence was fucking awesome. Like, they do sequencing really, really well at Lucha Underground. Like, in this match, and then there was another really good one later on with Cage, and it's just cool whenever they do stuff like that. And that crucifix reversal, whenever Angelico had him up and was going for his crucifix, and he reversed it into, I think, a Hurricane Rana, that was awesome. The crowd just popped, like, so fucking hard for that. And his Shooting Star Express was pretty nice, too. I mean, it wasn't Ricochet nice, but it was nice. The match was just great, though. And I have to ask, is this the build? Did they see the great house show wrestling match of Ivelisse versus Raptor and decide we need to make that happen? And this is the build toward Raptor and Ivelisse.
All right, first off, no one knows what you're talking about. And second off, no. I'm pretty sure even Even M-Dog20 has no idea who the Raptor was. He's like, just let it go. That's behind me. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. And not only that, but like the one thing we forgot to mention was after the match. I thought after the match was awesome. And Angelico just, gives her like, hey, baby, come on type look. And she just knocks him out with a kick. I thought that was great because it just, Ivelisse was just embarrassed, but she still, held her pride as the baddest bitch in the building. You know what I mean? It still helps.
It wasn't this thing of like, oh, she's I'll just play it in WWE terms. It wasn't this thing of, oh, she's a diva. Her boyfriend just broke up with her. Why doesn't she just get with this other guy immediately who's against her boyfriend? It wasn't like, it was more realistic. It was just, you know what I mean? She did not care for the guy previously and just fucking laid him out. And it was nice.
Yeah. And it would be interesting. And I want to see where the feud goes and all that. So I enjoy it. Then we go. Go ahead.
Is it just me, or do you think that's going to build toward a triple threat?
Maybe. I don't know. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know where it's going, and I try because, like, a lot of people are busting my balls in fucking chat rooms about just to see spoilers. I'm very anti-spoilers because this event is 100 times better, and most shows are 100 times better not knowing spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when it came to the main event, by the time it started, I didn't know who was going to win, and as a fan, I like that feeling.
Yeah.
I try to avoid spoilers as much as possible. I know people are making fun of me, but yeah, I could see it going in anyway, possible three-way and all that. And we did an interview with Mr. D. Joseph last week, and we ran out of time just because he had an emergency, but a lot of people were the internet were mad because we didn't say, ask him questions about who's coming, like Sin Cara or Mysterio. But he just said, anyone can show up. And this was, I'm kind of glad I didn't read spoilers, even though Rob gave me the spoiler before he came on television.
To be fair, in my defense, you did say you were starting watching, like, before me.
That is true. But in Japan, it might take a while to get here. I don't know. I'll just make an excuse. But yeah, backstage, they're playing with the camera angles. They're not showing it as the owner's there, and they're signing to a new deal. And it's Hernandez from TNA. Also friends with Conan. I don't know about real life, but kayfabe-wise, they're friends in TNA with the LAX and all that. And Hernandez, I imagine most people know, but he's a really good big guy that can wrestle from TNA. That's where most of the national audience knows where he's from. And it's weird because Hernandez was in LAX. LAX was really popular. Then they broke up, different people, different things. And then he went in a solo career, and it was one of those guys where, like, he had tons of potential, and you were like, oh, man, one day he's going to be big, and then he was gone. It was a real weird situation. I don't know, backstage drama. I don't know if it was pay cuts or all that. But it's like, man, Hernandez, I can't wait to see what he can do. He's gone.
Is he good in ring?
For his size, yes. He's a very good big man. I mean, I wouldn't put him up there with the likes of Prince Puma and all that. But for his size, he's really big. And he does like a over-the-top rope flying splash. I'm horrible naming moves. But yeah, if you want, TNA probably has tons of footage from up on his YouTube. I think he's really good. And not only that, but he improved a lot. When he first came out, we're like, oh, he's just a big muscle guy. But towards the end, I was like, no, he could be a fucking main eventer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he from where he started in TNA, and this is just my opinion, different people have different opinions and grade and rate on different stuff. I think he was just a big man in LAX. But as time went on, he just added more and more to his repertoire, and I'm like, holy shit, he's a big man that wrestles like a decent to good cruiserweight. So I think a lot of people are going to be impressed that haven't seen Hernandez, because it still shocks me. And Rob is one of these guys. I don't mean to throw Rob on the bus, but it still shocks me that some people don't watch TNA. Because, like, I try to watch everything, and I get mad. Like, I'm behind on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, the Indies, some Lucha Feds I wish I knew more about. But, I'm like, oh, you don't watch TNA? Like, all right. I just expect everyone to watch it, but that's not the case, especially when you look at the ratings. But Hernandez was a really good tag team wrestler that went out on his singles and then just disappeared. Like, okay. And it was weird because as a TNA fan, I was like, man, this guy's going to main event. No, he's gone. But he really, really improved, and it should be really exciting. And not only that, but it added interest to the story. I think, and I don't know if they did this on purpose, I think having Hernandez ringside, and we'll talk about what he did ringside, and having him there, and then having him meet Prince Puma, I think, to me, I don't know if they did this on purpose, and it's just every fan sees a book a different way. Every fan sees a story a different way. But with Hernandez popping up on the scene tonight, not reading spoilers, I thought maybe Cage was going to walk out with the title. Because, like, oh, well, Prince Puma loses the title, Cage gets it, and then Hernandez is the next guy. You know what I mean? I thought they were going to pass the torch that way. So I don't know if they did that on purpose. I don't know, because, like, you read books and you see stories. Everyone sees a story a different way. And it would be interesting if they did that on purpose, or if I'm just... once you become a fan of a product, you start filling the holes yourself with guessing what's going to happen. But either way, I enjoyed it a lot. Next, you had the AAA World Championship Bull Rope match. Alberto El Patron versus Tejano. Is that how you pronounce it? When I have a Spanish word...
El Patron and Tejano.
Yeah, when I have a Spanish word and I don't know, now I just make H noises. I'm like, ha, ah, ba, do.
It works a lot.
Like, just fucking throw in H words. I'm like, ah. Yeah, my Spanish is freaking horrible. So is my Portuguese. I have a lot of Brazilian friends, and oh god, do they make fun of me. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, why?
Mine's bad, and you make mine look great.
Yeah, mine is absolutely horrible. I'm not even going to lie. But I enjoyed this match for one thing. I always wanted to get into AAA a lot more than I really did. And it's great because I watch a lot of New Japan. I watch a lot of Dragon Gate. But when New Japan had Jim Ross on commentary, I bet you a lot of fans were like, wow, I get to watch something I always wanted to watch with English commentary. I imagine that's how a lot of people felt about Wrestle Kingdom 9. That's how I felt with AAA. I was like, oh, well, it's two great AAA guys that I see on YouTube but don't know much about because I don't, know Spanish in the commentary. It was great to have the English commentary go with this. I enjoyed this match a lot better than the first one, but, and I don't know if it's fair to compare because Triple Mania is like their WrestleMania. Their Triple Mania match fucking was absolutely amazing, but I don't know if that's a fair comparison. I don't know if fans...
I don't think that's fair to compare.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. But I enjoyed this match a lot, and I am a big fan of quick arm bars. I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I love MMA, and I even love pro wrestling, and if you're going to do the arm bar, I'm talking to you, Kurt Angle, I'm talking to you, Bobby Lashley, if you're going to do the arm bar, if you're really good at giving arm bars, and, people in judo, people in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts guys, if you're good at doing arm bars, you're tapping out right away. You're not like, what should I do? What should I? It just...
Oh, no, there's this immediate feeling of, like, my arm's about to break. Yeah, like, it is horrifying when you're in an armbar and you, like, I can't explain it to someone who hasn't felt it. There's this, your brain clicks and like, that's not one of those things. Like, there are a lot of people who are stubborn when they spar and shit and they don't want to tap shit. Like, no, you tap for that. It's not pleasant, and it's going to end bad. Like, you could tell.
Yeah, I haven't grappled in different versions of grappling in a real long time because I broke my neck and have nerve damage and all that fun stuff. You're pretty much like, hey, do you want to grapple? I'm like, I can barely walk. You know what I mean? Like, walking is a problem. Grappling's not another. But when I did younger, like, it's instant. Like, even if you're just rolling, rolling on the ground, and you're just rolling, and let's say me and Rob are rolling, like, even if it's like, okay, tap, or it's practice, we're just gonna fucking go, it's like instant pain, and you're automatically like, oh, you got me. You know what I mean? Yeah. It ain't like, and even if you are gonna do that, you have to actually grab the hand. Oh man,
Yeah.
I love TNA, and I don't mean to throw TNA under the bus, but Kurt Angle, Bobby Lashley, great match, but holy shit, that was fucking ugly with the armbar finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed the fact that Tejano got the fucking best of them, and I love the fact that Striker's informing you with English commentary. It's just enjoyable, and it's like seeing something that you don't get to see with English commentary is really really cool in my opinion. And I like the fact that he didn't look weak. It's just like, oh, he got caught, and anyone that's ever rolled or any kind of thing, because like people in judo will experience this, MMA, Brazilian jiu-jitsu definitely. It's like, oh, you got caught, tap, you got caught, tap, you know what I mean? And it just makes the move look more real, and I really enjoyed the quick tap outs. And not only that, but I just think that's how all tap outs should be.
I agree.
I think because like the whole thing is you want to live in this universe where it's real, but Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, and MMA are getting more and more popular, even as a hobby.
I think
it
depends on what the move is, though. I think moves like the Scorpion Deathlock or the Figure Four, I think those being drawn out in my head, it to me, it makes sense in my head for those to be drawn out. But I think that's probably also because I've never experienced them in actual real, you know what I mean, like serious sparring situations or anything. Whereas I've experienced ankle locks and arm bars and choke holds and all that shit, and those are quick. They're not like I could see guillotines taking a little bit, but most of the time it's just so fast, and I don't really do that.
I think the arm bar is like the fastest. I think it's the because you could like hold.
It's instant. You just know. Like, it's like no.
And as soon as your arm is extended, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, because the point, like when you're grappling, you hold on to the fist, and you're like, holy fuck, I can't straighten out my arm, or I'm fucked. But a lot of times, like in wrestling, they're like, oh, my arm is completely straight, and I'm gonna see what I can. It's bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's bullshit. Like just good job. But it's also exciting because it gives a bit of realism, and not only that, but it looks fucking real. Like you're in there. You're like, oh fuck, he's got an arm bar. I understand. Well, you had the best of them, but hey, we've all been arm barred before,
And Patron is great because when he knows he goes for a submission finish usually, and he always works the arm. And like even in my notes, I have it here. These are the notes verbatim. This is a note like 3 lines up from the last one for the match. I love how Alberto works the arm for his armbar before the end of the match. And then like 3 lines later, finish was great, felt so sudden, but in a good way.
Yeah. So
it just was. He worked the arm, and then there was just that really, really sudden finish at the end. Like, I've never seen a bull rap match.
Have ever did a grappling sport? If any of those who have did a grappling sport, working the arm is great because it's old school pro wrestling. If there's a good armbar, and even Ronda Rousey did this on the Tonight Show with Fallon, if it's a good armbar, you don't have to work shit.
No.
Okay?
No,
it's not like in a fight, I'm going to punch his left arm, and no, an armbar, you're just like, nope, you got me. You got me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, if anyone that's ever been in any type of grappling sport, they would fucking know.
But and it's great storytelling. Like, it's just great storytelling.
All right, Prince Puma's backstage. He's training with Conan. I like these segments, and I don't. I like it, but at the same time, this is going to be completely nerdy. Probably no one else noticed, but I was like, I covered boxing for a living, and I boxed in the Marine Corps for a little bit.
Hold on, before we go on to this match, I just want to say the commentary team on fucking that Tejano Patron match was so fucking good. That little exchange they had where he was like, "Man, you were really locked on his side," and I'm like, and he's like, "No, you're just rooting for the other guy," and he's like, "No, I'm rooting for the wrestling." That whole exchange between them, like the commentary team is so fucking good, and I wish they did more.
Can I be delusional for a second? Can I be delusional? I want to live in a delusional world where me asking tough questions about Vampiro helped his game.
That didn't happen.
That definitely didn't happen.
Because I think this was pre-recorded, like way before that even happened.
Why can't you just go, oh, my delusional fucking rants every now and then?
No, you shut down my fantasy booking earlier. You told me no Freebird rule for the Young Bucks.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. So, very nerdy thing is that the Prince Puma, dude, don't show off boxing. Your boxing skills are about as good as Triple H's. Like, no, Prince Puma, you are one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, with or without the mask. But for anyone that's ever watched good boxing, that's not it. Like, that's the thing too. Like, one time Jerry sent me a videotape of Triple H looking like he's gonna box, training, and I was like, "There's no way they made this public." And he's like, "It's on their YouTube page." I'm like, "Oh my fucking god!" Listen, boxing is a very hard art form, and if you're not good at it, you're horrible. I really believe that. I think boxing comes to one thing. Like some people are like, I'm an okay boxer. I just don't believe that. When it comes to boxing, you're either awesome or you're not. There's no middle ground in boxing. And I'm sorry, Prince Puma. I love you, and I think you're the best wrestler in the world. I even gave you my piece of the Triforce. With or without the mask, you are the best wrestler in the world. Less boxing in the back, please. The trivia question
they do it a lot, too.
Is Prince Puma or Triple H the better boxer? Hernandez shows up, and they fist bump and all that, but Puma's like, I don't know. But the thing is, I don't know if Puma's like questioning him, or that's just his go-to default thing. He's like, I don't know, should I trust this motherfucker? And Conan's like, yeah, why not? Why not?
I think it's kind of like to me at least, as a fan, it feels to me like he isn't even 100% sold if he trusts Conan, so he's hesitant to trust anyone.
Gotcha. All right,
you know what I mean? Does it feel that way for you? Does it feel like he's not 100% sold?
Yeah, and plus Vampiro is also telling that story every 5 seconds, and
that might be why I think that. Good job, Vampiro.
All right, let's go to some live comments, the main event, and we'll wrap this up. Counseling Gaming, LOLOL, also known as our best buddy at American Alucard. He retweeted us. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Andy Paps and Fabrice Nicholas T. I don't know because it's from Facebook. I don't want to say his full last name. People are weird on Facebook, especially my Japanese friends. Thank you for the likes on the Facebook and on the YouTubes. Let's see. The American Alucard just watched NXT, about to watch Lucha next. Lucha Underground was brilliant. This is from I Am Mikey. Pro Wrestling is alive and well. I love my girls, Melissa Santos, Katrina, and my wifey, Everlise. Wow, I didn't know Everlise was married to I Am
stay
Mikey.
Away from my wifey.
This show is a win. Lucha Underground is a must-watch product for any new viewer looking for an alternative. I agree with that. After Mania, I feel a huge shift about to go down in pro wrestling. WWE continues to provide lackluster events, and a new era alternatives are on fire. ROH, TNA Impact, New Japan, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Lucha Underground / AAA, all working to give platform to create strong brand and keep players. Hell, even take it for what it's worth, but recent shows in the Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling has been starting to book wrestlers for 8/22 show that will take place in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's possible that it may be a pilot TV taping for promotion. It's not clear. It would be used to shop the brand, or whether there is more to them being broadcast as an outlet. It is a good time to be a pro wrestling fan. I agree. Like right now, this is the thing. It might be the worst time in a really long time to be a WWE fan, but to be a pro wrestling fan, if you just search for alternatives, the alternatives are hitting home run after home run after home run.
Mm-hmm.
Shundell Hall said, I did my first review of Lucha Underground on my channel. Please give me critique, Dave. Thanks. Yeah, we could definitely do that. I have no problem. And if you want, maybe we could have you on as a guest. I just believe in helping other channels. When me and Boom started, no one helped us. And I just I want to remember that. So, yeah, if you have a channel, everyone check out Shundell Hall. He's down in the comments. Check him out, and I'll definitely hit you up and give you some pointers. Just remember, I'm a really negative asshole, so I'm being negative and critiquing you, and with a good heart. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. And people like, comment, subscribe, and let's grow the internet inventory and help each other out. All right, let's talk main event and wrap this bad boy up. I hear people in the background being like, "He's still podcasting." You know what, dear Japanese friends and family, when I say I'm going to podcast all day, I mean I'm going to podcast all day. So, let's do it in reverse, just because I got to see what everyone's yelling about. If you could break down the Lucha Underground Championship match, and then we'll just go in reverse. So you hit your notes first, and you give your opinion first, and then I'll come in with color commentary in a little bit after I find out what everyone's yelling about.
Okay. All right. First, I'm going to just talk about the fact that I don't understand what is with the use of tape so much. If anyone out there from Lucha Underground is listening and wants to say in the comments sometime or send us some kind of secret message, I don't know anything. What's up with the tape? I was torn on whether or not I thought it looked cool, because Cage has the tape over his right shoulder and his right elbow bicep area. I don't get why he has the tape, and I was like, all right, maybe it's just his thing. And I mean, I've seen before, and I'm just curious. Like, I start wondering, like, what is the tape for? Is the tape on his arm to hide a tattoo or something? But then I noticed something I had never noticed before, which is Puma had flesh-colored tape on his left shoulder. So I just got to ask, who in the back is playing with the tape, and what do you guys like doing that for? Is there a purpose? Do you guys just like tape? Like, what's the story? I just want to know what's up with the tape.
Are you talking about the black tape and the clear tape that's on their body?
Yes.
Oh, that's I found that out from Christopher Daniels. I'm not an athlete, but that helps loosen up muscles. It's like,
okay,
it has something to do with their health. It has nothing to do with actual helping. Like, it has nothing to do with anything in the kayfabe world. That just helps them with their health and loosens up muscles. So, like, if you have a tight muscle, they put those wraps on you and it loosens it up.
Okay, that all right. Thank you.
Says the fat nerd that doesn't even run down the block.
All right, so now that question's been answered, before I do my breakdown, do you want to just do it the normal order since you're back?
Yeah, sorry about that. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on in real life. That's why I'm trying to get a lot of podcasts done.
I bought time with my tape curiosity.
The one thing, and the worst part is I answered like in 2 seconds. I should have made something up. But yeah, I think that's what I learned from Christopher Daniels. Because Christopher Daniels loves taping up his body. He looks like a fucking mummy sometimes.
Just name dropping like crazy, aren't you?
Well, I fucking hang out with Christopher Daniels in the Great Muda all the time.
You're like, DeJoseph, Daniels, Muda, Batista. Like, who else? Who else?
Well, the thing is, to, like, when you name drop, like, I know that I've had letters, and they're like, oh, could you ask, like, we had this one letter, and he wasn't even being sarcastic. He's like, oh, next time Evander Holyfield is down in the KocoSports studios. Like, how big do you think we are? Like, A, that we have studios, and B, that Evander Holyfield just drops by every now and then. All right,
don't ruin it, KV. We have huge studios. Right now, I can see Puma in the hallway doing flips. Hey, Puma, that's awesome. Right out there through the glass. All right, keep going.
Oh man, the best part is, like, it's just. All right, moving on. Lucha Underground Championship. First off, the belt looked amazing.
It's
I just thought the belt looked absolutely gorgeous. I'm a huge belt mark. Like, if I had the money, like, a lot of people online make fun of belt marks. I'm a t-shirt mark just because I can't afford belts. But if I could afford belts, I'd probably be a belt mark. But yeah, that belt was amazing. It just looked so pretty.
I can say, as someone who does the fantasy, the Coco stream with you, you are a fucking belt mark.
Oh, I am. Like, yeah.
God, it's bad.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, I have kids, so I imagine if I didn't have kids, I'd have a lot of championship belts. But yeah, because, like, it's like, oh man, that's a nice belt. I'd like to buy it. I'm like, that's a $5,000 belt. I'm like, all right, here you go. Thank you. Let me go back to the t-shirt rack. All right. I thought the belt looked absolutely amazing. I was a fan of it. And one thing that I love about this is I was worried the AAA match was going to go on last. The fact that the
Yeah,
Lucha Underground Championship match went on last, I really enjoyed it. It was a Boyle Heights street fight. Conan was there. They also had Hernandez ringside. I thought the match was absolutely amazing. Now this is a nitpicking, and I could see it as a flaw. I thought Hernandez being active and kind of screwing Cage kind of sucked, but at the same time, the feud can continue. You know what I mean?
See, I disagree with you entirely, because as a guy who had no idea who Hernandez was up until this point,
TNA, motherfucker.
I know, but just listen. As a guy who didn't know who he was, they managed us so well. With the storytelling of tonight, they managed to do such a good job that whenever he got up there next to Cage, I was pretty excited to see these two big men clash. Like, I was like, this is gonna be fucking great. And I like that Conan hit him with the cheap shot, because now I get to wait, and I'm more excited to see that now because I have to wait for it a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'm just nitpicking.
And can we say how great Conan was in this match in general?
Oh, Conan?
Yeah, he was fucking great.
Like, I'm a huge... for those that don't know, I promoted, did indie, and on a very small level was a cameraman. And I mark out to good camera work. The camera work for this fucking match was amazing. And like, a lot of fans don't fucking, they're like, who gives a shit? No, when you've been on that side of the camera and the editing and film, it's just amazing, because like, good camera work could tell a better story in 3 seconds than a 40-minute promo.
And it can do so much to make moves look so much more amazing. Like when he did the jump off the top rope to the outside of the ring, and they made the camera angle come from below, it made it look like he gained so much more height than if you had shown it from any other angle. And it just made the move just look so impressive and awe-inspiring, purely off camera angle.
And like, here's the thing, like, it took maybe 2-3 seconds. It took 2 camera shots, but if you have 2 good camera shots, it was Hernandez giving the wink/nod to Conan, and Conan accepting, the way they edited it and caught the cameras. I was like, they told an intriguing story instantly. Because like, I'm gonna get a bit nerdy. We do Dream. It's just us booking, having a lot of fun with it. People wanted us to do it. It's not for everyone, and we understand that. It's just, hey, sometimes we let goose and let nerdy. And a lot of times, a critique that we have in our company is like, oh, well, your promos are only 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm just imagining the good camera work. You don't need long promos if you have a great editing/camera team. And Lucha Underground, the camera work is great. Like, here's the difference. TNA camera work has been horrible, and in England, it's not all the time, but in England, TNA's camera work has been horrible. So, it's not as good and crisp. Where Lucha Underground, I'm just like looking at this camera work, I'm just like, holy shit, they're telling a story instantly without words. And to me, that's just amazing in television. Like, I used to be a screenwriter, a failed screenwriter. I have to make sure that you add the word failed, because if not, people are like, how much money did you make? A failed screenwriter. I am a failed screenwriter, and one thing in screenwriting is, if you can tell a story and not use dialogue, that's an amazing skill. It's just an amazing skill. And granted, the actors, camera work, all that matters. Like, Stephen King one time, I don't know if you heard of this cat, but he's a pretty good writer. I think that Stephen King guy's going to make it. He did a television special where it was like an hour long, and it was entertaining, not one word of dialogue. And that is just like, that's fucking amazing. In the writing world, that's like hitting a fucking home run. That's like, no, that's not even fair. In the writing world, that's like pitching a perfect game. And there was just some really great camera work and storytelling here, so you have to give them props. But I enjoyed the match. The only nitpick I have, and it's a small nitpick because there's a negative, but I also see a positive in it, is that I don't know Hernandez interfering and all that helps, but it protects Cage. Cage is still a monster. Puma is still the champion, which, is my top priority as a fan. And there's a lot more storylines coming out of this. Where if it was a clean victory, like, ask Rob, I'm just, clean victory, title defenses, clean victory, title defenses. Rob's like, all right, we get that, Dave. That's fucking what you want. But even with that, it's like, you left this match. Cage didn't look that weak. Puma didn't. Like, everyone looked stronger. And that's what you want in a pro wrestling company. So I enjoy it. Prince Puma does win with a 630. According to Wrestling Inc., they're calling it a 630. That might have been at 1,000,002. I don't know. I wasn't counting. But, yeah, it was just a great night. And not only that, but a great camera work can tell a story because, like, you questioned everything. Like, was it just me or did you question Conan turning on Puma there? Now, granted,
No.
it probably wouldn't have made sense. I was like, think about it. He has the replacement. That's why.
Hernandez is not a replacement for Puma. No. Conan's not dumb. He knows he's got the best goddamn talent on the roster in his pocket. You know what Hernandez is? Hernandez is his fucking security policy on that fucking talent.
Gotcha. And Hernandez versus Cage would be a pretty decent match. And I didn't know much about Cage.
Think about it. If anyone came down...
I didn't know much about Cage until Lucha Underground. But I went back, did a couple homework. This guy, for fucking... And me being a muscleist, I usually hate people that have giant muscles because they can't fucking wrestle or fight. Being a muscleist, I really have turned around on Cage from, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. He's got muscles. He can't be good. You're a muscleist. Very true story. To, holy shit. Fucking, yeah. Pro Wrestling Gorilla, I've seen a couple videos, like, damn. This motherfucker is special.
Cage is awesome.
Yeah. Well, I had to learn. I didn't know Cage was awesome. And that's what's cool, having indie guys pop up that you haven't seen. With that said, I definitely have to watch more Pro Wrestling Gorilla. Go ahead.
There was a spot with in WWE, I never would have seen a valet or a manager do something like this, purely because the camera wouldn't have shifted to show it. But this is what made it great for me. Was there was that moment where Cage was stalking Puma with the trash can lid, and Conan was just yelling at him and trying to warn him. And the camera didn't go to Conan or anything, and it never would have in like the WWE, I don't think. But after Puma gets hit, the camera cuts to another angle that you can still see the action through the ring, but it's the other side of the ring, and it's the focal point is Conan. And Conan's shaking his head in shame at Puma for getting hit by that. And to me, that was just great. Like, I loved that moment. That was probably my favorite moment in the match. And it was done just a really quick camera look.
Now, listen, this is my final thoughts. I know I get really negative on WWE, and the WrestleMania is pretty negative, but it's just there is great alternatives, and Lucha Underground is one of those great alternatives. If you're a pro wrestling fan, please go out and check out more alternatives, just because when you watch Raw, and me, Raw, Boom Boom, American a la carte, T-Sean, and we're a little negative, wrestling ranted, it's because we are watching different wrestling from around the world, and we just know that it can be done great. And for my style of wrestling, as a fan, Lucha Underground, I think, is the best American TV show out there, without a doubt. And when it comes to picking New Japan or Lucha Underground, I just don't want to. I don't want to. Infernarino, at INFINA.
You didn't even let me break down the match, buddy.
RIO. Thank you for liking our tweet. Appreciate it. All right, break down the match.
Thank you, sir. Killing me, Smalls. Did you notice when Puma accidentally tripped over after he hit Cage with the lid? He kind of tripped over Cage's arm, falling on the back of his leg, and he turned it into a cell on previous damage and just stumbled around the ring until he collapsed against the rope. Yeah.
It's called selling.
But it wasn't intended. it was a botch that turned into a sell, though, was what I liked about it. Because he definitely started to trip from Cage's arm falling. Because it wasn't Cage didn't hit him, it was just Cage was selling, and it connected with his leg and fucked with his balance or whatever. And he turned it into a sell, and I loved that. But the whole match was great, and I just want to say, all night long, every time, the first time when a table came out in the Tejano Patron match, I looked at it and I was like, all I could think was you in my head, Dave, going, tables aren't cheap. That was all I could think when they got out that table. And then when they got out the table and this one, like, I hear this is what I wrote on my notes. The crowd started chanting, we want tables. All I can think is, why isn't anyone chanting back, those aren't cheap?
Yeah, especially if you're ever an indie promoter. Indie promoters are hard because, you know, you have to put on the best show you can for a small budget. And when you hear, get the tables, we want tables, you just want to fucking scream back to the audience. That's $80 a pop. You got in here on $3.25.
Like, all right. So the match was just it was a really good match. Puma is basically a 5-star gold mine. Like, if you put Puma in a match, it's rare it's not going to be a 4 or 5-star match. He's just that fucking good. And it was no different in this match. Like, he had that really, really nice spot where he reversed Cage lift. When Cage was on the apron trying to lift him out, he reversed it into a kick combination that was just really, really fucking cool. And then he did that awesome jump out of the ring. That was when they had that really good camera angle where it looked like he was just falling from the fucking clouds like some sort of angel of justice. And that was awesome. And I do have to ask, because this note's here, why did Vampiro randomly start commenting on how ugly Conan was?
Oh, because throughout the history, Conan and Vampiro hate each other. That's like going back forever, and Conan and Vampiro hate each other, and Vampiro has to put over, you know, Prince Puma by still making sure that people know that Vampiro hates Conan. Okay. And a lot of the Lucha, well, that's like throughout history, but also Lucha Underground history has that too. You know, it's only been out like 20, 21 shows. Yeah, it's Vampiro.
It made me laugh.
Vampiro is trying to tell the story of, oh, Prince Puma is amazing, but I still fucking hate Conan. And, you know, he has to figure out ways to do that. Because even in backstage interviews, they started bumping each other and hating each other. Just because, I guess, you know, and maybe not to this level, but it would be like Flair and Steamboat still holding a grudge. You know, or Macho Man and Hogan still holding a grudge. You have to keep selling that. And maybe it's going to lead to somewhere. If not, maybe just, you know, hey.
Maybe.
Yeah, plus it adds to, you know, hey, he shouldn't fucking really be with this son of a gun, Conan.
I would love to see Vampiro do one of those Vampiro interviews with Conan.
Well, they have. Conan's been second tier. It was with Prince Puma.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean, though. I want one with him, just him and Conan. I just want it to be almost. I want them to hate each other in an interview.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure it's going somewhere. If not, they're just keeping up with history, you know.
Mm-hmm. But there were more great spots in that match. Like, I liked Cage just tossing Conan aside like he was nothing. I thought that was really, really good, just as a heel move, especially because at least. Because my stepmom is Mexican, and I grew up around a lot of her family while I was in high school and everything. And family and everything's really important, and respecting your elders was really important with all of the people I knew from the Hispanic culture growing up, for me personally. So to me, when I saw this, it was like, oh man, that's like, it was a bigger heel move to me just because of that, the background of knowing, from my experience, that disrespecting the elders like that is it's fucked up. Like, that's frustrating, kind of fucked up. So I liked that, and then, was it just me, or was that Puma spot where he did his finisher and just slammed into the mat? That had to have hurt like fucking crazy, man.
Oh, I imagine all of it has to.
That had to have been the worst.
Also, you know, I don't really talk spots. There was a lot of spots to the outside that looked amazing. Angelico. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Angelico.
One of my personal favorite spots. I don't know why, because I just think it's crazy dangerous. Is when you jump to the outside, but instead of going over the top rope, you go over the turnbuckle and post. I just every time I see that, I'm just amazed. I'm like, holy shit, that's dangerous as fuck. Don't you realize how gravity works? So I enjoyed that. Plus the spot where Puma did it on the outside, I thought was amazing. They had some really great spots.
And then I loved how Cage just jumped on him right after, because Cage made it so much better. The way he was running to try and keep pushing Puma down into the mat when he went to pin Puma after dodging Puma's finish, that was awesome to me. And then he immediately picked him up, did the weapon X into the ground, and then just did some ground and pound, and then immediately went into the double power bomb into the fucking trash can. Like, that was just awesome. Like, Cage is really, really good athletically. That's all I have. Like, those are all my notes, because those were the spots that really, really, really stood out to me. I love when there's just this really nice, quick, crisp sequence of moves. Like, to me, that's the biggest show off in how good the wrestlers really are.
Yeah. And like I said, the only thing is, like, storyline-wise, kayfabe-wise, Cage, you gotta keep your eye on the prize, man. You could be goddamn champion right now. What the fuck,
God, wait,
Cage?
I like that about Cage, though, because to me, he's not so much about winning as he's just about fucking destruction. Like, Cage doesn't seem like he's there to win matches. Cage seems like he's there just to beat people up, and I like that.
Cage, you gotta keep your eye on the prize, brother. You gotta keep your eye on the prize. Now we're getting into the kayfabe world.
Keep beating people up.
So everyone, make sure to check out Shundell Hall. He did a 7-minute review of Lucha Underground. What is that like? Yeah, I always go to other YouTubers and be like, "What? It's not 17 hours long."
He wasn't even done talking about the intro at that point.
Yeah, so we definitely do love our reviews, but definitely check it out. I'm gonna check it out, see what it is. There is a link down in the link down in the comments. So make sure to check that out. And I guess we'll do one last question. This is a pretty decent question. It is WrestleMania week, and WWE, love them or hate them, they are a monopoly. And here is a question asked by like 2 or 3 people. So once multiple people ask the same question, we'll just say from the Internet Infantry. The question is this: will WrestleMania be better than this week's Lucha Underground?
No.
And I'd have to agree. I'd have to say no. I can't see it. I mean, I'll be fair and judge it accordingly, but no, I think the last 2 weeks of Lucha Underground have been absolutely amazing. Everyone has different things. Some people like the entrances. Everyone likes something different in pro wrestling. But for me, no. I could be wrong. The athletes can do an amazing job. But yeah, we just talked 2+ hours of breaking down WrestleMania, and we just got that question from a lot of people. Do you think WrestleMania will beat out Lucha Underground? I don't know. I think TNA. I don't think they can beat out TNA, Ring of Honor. I just think no. I don't know.
I think they can beat TNA.
Second place alternatives. I don't know. TNA's been pretty good. I know you like to be hip and
listen,
cool,
I'll watch TNA when you can tell me honestly. TNA has been consistently good for the last 2 months.
Yeah, I could say that.
You can honestly say that right now.
I honestly think there hasn't been a bad show since they've been on their new network.
If you were rating it global win, loss, or tie, that means
global
like
win, loss,
across
or tie.
You would say that the last 2 months were a win.
It's not as strong as Lucha Underground.
But you would say the last 2 months
moments.
were a win. Is it at least as strong as NXT? Because I consider NXT to be a fairly weak wrestling product that's just substantially better than WWE.
I think NXT and TNA are very close, and earlier this year NXT was better, but right now I think TNA is better.
Okay, you know what? I'll watch TNA this week.
I say it's but last week was good, and the week prior to that, 2 weeks ago, I think TNA had their best show since moving to their new network. And last week wasn't too bad, but 2 weeks ago, I think it was their best show, and I think last week was Lucha Underground's one of their best shows ever. So yeah, it's been a good time for number twos. Like a gun to my head, I don't think, because you remember how NXT used to be a lot better, like maybe a couple months ago. I think that NXT is better than TNA, but I think TNA and NXT are close as far as, in my opinion. But there are people that don't give TNA a chance. They won't even watch it. Be like, it sucks. And that's
if I could just watch their women's wrestling, I would.
Yeah.
I still stand by. If they got rid of the men, I'd love to.
Well, there is going to be an all knockouts thing, and all TNA's highest ratings throughout their history have been women's wrestling, and they're advertising it's going to be an all knockout show coming up.
And I was kind of holding out to make that my TNA show.
All right, well then I can hold out, pal.
Because man, that's going to be a good night. Oh, and I just want to say, like, normally entrances aren't really a big deal in Lucha Underground, but I really liked Son of Havoc and Evalise's intro, just because they just paid no mind to the fans. She came in with the bandana over her face, and they just felt like heels, which doesn't happen that much during the entrance to me on Lucha because the entrances are so brief. I don't know. That was just the feeling I got watching them at that first part of their walk up to the top of the stairs. It was like, man, these guys are bad guys.
And Ivelisse really looked beautiful during this show. Like, even though she was evil and tough and all that, she's a beautiful woman. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. She's gorgeous and a great wrestler.
Yeah. So we'll hope to see more from her. All right, so down in the comments, put win, loss, or tie. Check out Shundell Hall. Check out also check out also our WrestleMania review. Check out Lucha Underground's last week's review. We had a special guest, and it was the only time we've had a guest on the show. And if everything goes right, Boom Boom and Rob will be doing an NXT review in a couple hours.
Boom Boom will be doing an NXT and a review in a couple hours. If Rob is awake, Rob will do it.
All right, so card subject.
Let's not get Fran Yoe excited.
And Wrestling Rantin will be doing a show at 9 o'clock, so check out Wrestling Rantin, RASSSLIN, Rantin. Check out his channel, 9 o'clock it will be live. I'm scheduled to be on, but we have Freebird rules. Freebird rules, I still have to talk to Wrestling Rantin. Do you think Wrestling Rantin is going to punch me in the face or punch me in the face?
I'll tell you one thing, you're not getting a Reese's Cup care package from him.
Yeah.
Like, that's not happening.
All right. We love you, Wrestling Rantin. I try to get a hold of him. I think he's like, oh, well, if I just ignore Dave, obviously he can't tell me. All right.
Either that or he's guessed from the way you keep saying Freebird rule. Every time you mention it.
Like, Freebird rule. Freebird rule. All right, so please like, comment, subscribe. We try to do at least one video a day, even though we're trying to grow that number. And also, check out KocoSports.net. It's our home for now. Is there anything else? Oh, Rob, tell them how they can watch you play video games, because, that's important.
Yeah, I play video games on my channel. It is SIDUAKAL. I'm sort of... Sometimes I'm good at them, sometimes I'm terrible at them. I think the most entertaining one is probably me playing Far Cry 4. And that's just because I do a lot of stupid shit and get killed by honey badgers. But I have fun, and I just mostly enjoy myself and record myself playing the games. So yeah, you guys can check me out on that. And we also do a Let's Play on this channel with Total Extreme Wrestling 2013, where Dave and I inherit $1 million and decide to start a wrestling promotion and just hire anyone who will talk to us that's good.
Yeah. And not
which Prince Puma would not.
Yeah, Prince Puma. We were going to make Prince Puma, a.k.a. Unmasked Prince Puma, we were going to make him our first champion, and he just refused. He was like, go fuck yourselves. I'm like, all right.
No, I don't remember. Didn't he actually start talking to us and then come back?
He talked to us because we had no one under contract, and he talked to us. But then we offered his best friend a contract first, and then he stopped talking to us.
Yeah, that's right.
You talked to my best friend before me? And I was like, that's not the way it went down, Mr. Puma.
If we could have, we would have just sat you both down at lunch together and been like, we want to do this with you guys.
Yeah. So, all right. So definitely check that out. Like, comment, subscribe. With that, tons of shows this week. With that, I'm looking for the bud. I am over. Boom, 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 boom.